And Oscar-winning heavyweights Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway are starring in a new miniseries about WeWork founder Adam Neumann. It's called We Crashed. Jared Leto is sporting an Israeli accent to take on the role of the native Hebrew speaker, the charismatic, enigmatic, risk-taking entrepreneur Adam Neumann. Hathaway plays his wife and the WeWork co-founder. WeWork was founded in 2010. It was one of America's hottest startups. It was valued at one time at $50 billion almost. But after filing an IPO to go public just 3 years ago, the company crashed. Details came to light over its business model, the questionable antics of the founders, the ability for this company to be profitable. Here is the first trailer for this series, which debuts in mid-March on Apple TV.
This is what tomorrow looks like. Let there be lights and wide, open spaces. This isn't a place for people to punch in and out.
WeWork's role is to elevate the world's consciousness.
WeWork isn't just a company. It's a movement. We've got to dream.
Adam will manifest it.
It's magic and your magic.
I say we, you say work. We.
All you have is me.
You know you're not God, right?
You have to admit, I do look a little bit like him.
And with us now is Carmit Levite, I-24 News Culture Contributor. Thank you so much for being with us. Tell me a little bit about this guy, Adam Neumann, and why his story and the rise of WeWork. It makes for a good material for a miniseries like this.
This is like the perfect story material. It's got all the characters you want to see in the best arc. It's sort of Macbethian almost, the rise and the fall of a great person. Well, when I say great person, I say a very interesting human being. First of all, the business perspective is unbelievable. Within a decade, they were worth $47 billion. This is the Silicon sweetheart, you know, that someone in Wall Street called that they got $20 billion investment was basically stardust by the end of it. And at the head of this incredible initiative is Adam Neumann, who is like this meat banning, weed smoking, Kabbalah learning and quoting a person who has these crazy ideas of he's going to live forever. He wants to be the first trillionaire. He wanted to open up a WeWork section in Mars. He thought he would be a world leader. He wanted to work with Jared Kushner to work on the Israel peace talk. So this is a very interesting person whose wife, who ironically is Gwyneth Paltrow's cousin. She was a guru, a wellness guru, which is like, that's what correlates with Gwyneth so well. That
So what happened with this company then? I mean, like
so the idea is that all of this, when they realized what erratic management this was all under and self-enrichment that was going on, they had the Japanese investor Masayoshi Son, who invested in Uber and Tesla and Netflix. He was one of the great deals of taking this company even further. And once they were just showered with all this money, we became great spenders. And it's just like someone who gets the lottery and spends all his money. That's pretty much what happened to the company. And by the time it came out to the IPO, they just crashed and he had to pull out.
Yeah,
so,
the truth of the bottom line here, the financing of the company, the business management, the structure, it came crumbling apart.
It was basically, you had this board with no grown-ups monitoring these children running around. And obviously this was a great idea. The idea of WeWork, and it expanded globally. It became a very successful idea,
so
managed badly.
What are your thoughts on the casting choices here? We have Jared Leto trying to do an Israeli, accent here.
Not bad, not bad.
What are your thoughts on, these are both Oscar-winning actors in this miniseries?
Well, yes, absolutely. Well, Jared Leto has a penchant to making these sort of unhinged characters that go well with playing this Jesus-like character, like with his hair long and this crazy kind of person. Well, let's say a very outspoken person. So he can always play the visionary or the con man. It goes well with exactly the kind of roles. And also, he really looks like him. It's kind of funny. And Anne Hathaway, who always plays these overachievers and these kind of, there's a lot of people who hate Anne Hathaway and love Anne. That's the kind of person that's perfect for this kind of role, and to see this couple together.
Kind of a role here.
Exactly, I was going to say at the beginning. I was going to the thing.
Important, Carmit, or how quintessential is the Jewishness, the Israeliness to this story, if at all?
Look, we are known as the startup nation. This is an Israeli-born person who made it there in Silicon Valley. It's very much connected with what Israel is made of. I mean, we have one of the most concentrated amount of startups in the world. So I think it's funny when you say the idea of Jewishness. I look at it in another way. I read about his mom, who is an oncologist at Rambam Hospital in Haifa, and she actually said that she used to take her children to all the oncology clinics around the world. She didn't shade him from all this suffering, and I think that's part of the reason what made him the person who he is. And by the way, he's just become a Chabadnik, like he's no
longer with WeWork anymore.
He is a consultant, and he gets a very sizable amount of money. There's a whole controversy about all the workers after 2015 who worked for such low payments and for options that went down to dust. There's a lot of disgruntledness going on.
WeWork is still around. I mean,
they just went public 2 years ago, and they're worth $8 billion now, which is a big step down.
A huge step down from $47 billion, but
$47 billion.
Worth a lot. This business model.
Absolutely.
From the limited footage that we have seen in this trailer released by Apple TV, are you excited by this? It seems also a little bit, in my mind, like The Social Network, like young, visionary, brilliant.
Exactly, it's like The Social Network. I was just thinking about that. It looks absolutely fascinating. It looks like it's a limited series, six episodes. You're going to see exactly the rise and the fall, and it's such a fascinating story because you see these people about to conquer the world and slowly crashing down. I personally, I hate these almost stories, like you almost got Hitler and you almost did that. But it's so interesting to see the intricacies and the dynamics that go between these people, these incredible characters. And I think it's going to be just a wonderful, fascinating story. Documentaries were made, books were written about WeWork. So it's going to be absolutely, I think I'm personally very excited to see this specific one.
All within a decade, from nothing to $47 billion.
Boom, and crash down. Yeah. And they're so colorful, these kind of characters like Adam Neumann and his wife. Rebecca Neumann.
Incredible casting,
and they have 5 children, 2 sets of twins. I mean, talk about overachieving.